Hello my viewers, welcome back to the channel. By the video title, you know what this video is about. NFL Mock Draft 4.0, but this time I'm doing round 1 and round 2. So we're gonna get both rounds in, and there's a lot of picks, so I'm not gonna be on every pick crazy. You guys know, of course, the early picks. You know, Caleb Williams gonna go to the Bears, of course. But Drake May, this time I switched it up. I had Drake May go to Washington. I had the Patriots take Marvin Harrison Jr. Instead of going quarterback first, I had to take Marvin Harrison Jr., get a receiver on the outside, because there's still some quarterbacks in this draft who I had them take in the second round. And then I had Malik Neighbors go to the Cardinals again. Rome, I had him go to the Chargers. Was a pretty big time receiver, big receiver for Washington, last year. Did a pretty good job, with him and Michael Penix Jr. had a great chemistry. And also Jalen Polk, it was very good too as well. But I had Rome go to the Chargers. They need another receiver out there. Of course, we know Quentin Johnson. He went out there and played I think he had 400 yards. Like he didn't play the best they thought he was gonna be, but he played pretty solidly. I think maybe this season he can make that next jump to the next level. We'll see what happens. I had the Titans take offensive tackle for Penn State, and you go down to Brock Bowers. I keep saying his name wrong. Brock Bowers. I had the tight end from Georgia go to the Jets. The Jets get him. The Jets trying to get the offensive weapons going. They have, of course, Tyron Smith, former Cowboy, amazing player. They signed him, so if he can stay healthy, that'd be good for them. But I also had them get, Brock Bowers right here. So now they have the tight end. They have Mike Williams, who they signed to as well. You have, what's his name? Garrett Wilson. I couldn't think of his name. I went blank for a second. Garrett Wilson. And Rodgers come back. We're going to see how he looks, but we're going to see what happens with that situation. I had the Vikings take Jaden Daniels. I also had the Broncos take Terrion Arnold instead of taking the quarterback first round. I had the Raiders take J.D. McCarthy. Then you skip down to the Colts, Brian Thomas Jr., receiver to LSU. Dexter Power Johnson to the Seahawks. Quentin Mitchell to the Jags. Skip down to the Steelers. As Steelers take Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean is labeled on here as a safety, but he can play cornerback. He play cornerback a lot. He plays safety a lot. He's a queen chess piece. You can put him all over the field and go out there. And I thought a guy like that available, you have to take him. You have to draft him. That's a big time addition to add to the team. I had, of course, Troy go to the Dolphins. I had the Eagles get Kool-Aid McKinstry. Vikings get Byron Murphy. Amarius Mims to the Cowboys. J.C. Latham to the Packers. You skip down to the Bills. Keon Coleman, receiver from Florida State, got him go to the Bills. The Bills lost Gabe Davis, but they do still have Stephon Diggs there. Stephon Diggs been disgruntled all around. Keon Coleman is a good player out of Florida State. Amazing playmaker, and I feel like he can make that next step and take that next step too, especially being in the secondary role this year on the side of Stephon Diggs. Josh Allen is a gunslinger. He'll find you a way to get the ball. He'll give you the chance and opportunity to get the ball. So I feel like if he go out there and just be like the secondary guy and learn from Stephon Diggs and be the guy and work himself into being the starter maybe in the future. Not the starter, he'll be a starter, but work himself to being the number 1 guy in the future, I think it can work out. I think he's a good player like that. And then you move on next, of course, Donnie Mitchell, skip down to the Ravens. I had Donnie Mitchell go to the Ravens, receiver from Texas. Tyler Guyton go to the 49ers. Ladd McConkey had him go to the Chiefs. And then moving on to the next part, which is round 2, Xavier Legette, that big receiver from South Carolina, the Gamecocks, very good big receiver. He's a physical force, and the Panthers might need that. Bryce Young need a target like that he can rely on. David Johnson, of course, got signed. He was traded to the Panthers like that, so he would be there for a little while. I think his contract was still, he had like 2-3 years left on his deal, so he'd be there. Adam Thielen is there, veteran receiver. So you have some guys like that, but you need someone who can go up there and get the ball, someone who's very physical and physically demanding, who can create separation and get the ball. And I think a guy like Legette will be great for the Panthers. And he ain't too far, he's already in Carolina, so just go down the street. I had the Patriots take Michael Penix Jr., quarterback from Washington. As you guys know, Michael Penix Jr., lefty, strong arm quarterback as well. I feel like he could have been a first round pick if the injuries didn't plague him a little bit in college. He had the torn ACLs and both knees. It was crazy. His pro day, he ran a 4.47, so he still has speed, but he don't really run as much like he used to probably. He probably would have did if he had all those injuries that occurred to him. So if he's available, I think the Patriots take him. I think the Patriots go that scheme of getting that big-time receiver in Marvin Harrison Jr., knowing what he can do, knowing his capabilities, and then you get a quarterback like Michael Penix Jr., because you have opportunity. Michael Penix Jr. could be in the second round. You also have, of course, Bo Nix, who could probably be in the second round too as well. So one of those quarterbacks, I could take one of those guys, and you never know what can happen. So unless the Patriots decide to trade up to get a quarterback like Jaden Daniels and get Marvin Harrison Jr., then we'll see. But I don't think they'll do that. I think they just go to approach of getting the receiver first, and then getting the quarterback in the second round, because the quarterback class is not super duper deep, but it's still pretty deep enough so like you can get a guy in the second round and go out there and feel confident that he can be your starter day one. Skip down to the Packers. Peyton Wilson, I had him go to the Packers. As you guys know, he's very versatile tight end, sideline to sideline type of guy, can make a lot of big time plays, playmaker. Got great IQ too as well. Awareness, can play man-to-man coverage, can play zone coverage, good tackler as well. I feel like the Packers could really use a guy like that. Packers, their defense has struggled a lot last year. Now they did show up in times like in the playoffs. They showed up in the playoffs at the end of the season when they needed them most. They showed up in that game against the Bears, in that game in the playoffs against the Cowboys, in the game against the 49ers. Even though they lost that game in the playoffs, they still showed up. But their offense was the driving force of the team. But you add some little pieces on defense to get the team bolster up, I feel like they can go out there and be special. So we'll see what the Packers will do. Xavier Worthy, I had him go to the Texans. Troy Franklin had him go to the Falcons. I had Jordan Morgan go to the Raiders. And also skipping down to Jaguars, Jalen Pope. Big time playmaker. A lot of people had to give him a knack. They say his acceleration not the fastest. But you look at him and you watch his film, he can get down the field. He can make plays, get down the field. He can throw that ball deep. He's very, I say throw the ball deep. He can catch the ball deep. He's a deep threat player. Like, he's, I know he ran a 4.5, so people say, oh, he's not that fast. Because 4.5 is still fast, but a lot of people want to steal nowadays because the athletes will run like 4.4s and stuff. It's supposed to be like at least have a 4.4. But his ability to get open, his route running ability, that's the only thing I care about. Of course, receiver having the speed is great. Being like super athletic is great too as well. But your separation, you can run the routes perfectly and get open and create separation. That's the main thing that teams worry about. That when I say run to point A, you're gonna be at point A. I can give you the ball, and Jalen Polk is your guy. He's a guy who can get there. Trevor Lawrence needs a little more help. They lost Calvin Ridley. Zay Jones is still there. They still have Christian Kirk, but adding a guy like Jalen Polk will open up so much more for your offense. He's a very physical specimen, great route runner as well, and he can be a favorite target for Trevor Lawrence. Patrick Paul, I had him go to the Bengals. Junior Colson, another tight end, who has a lot of potential. Junior Colson is a guy who, if you look at his play style, really, his play style is kind of like a hybrid style. If you look at his body style, his body build, he's built kind of like a safety a little bit. And his play style, he's good. He's very aware. He's not really a thumper type of linebacker, getting down there and hitting somebody, but I feel like he could be a guy who's great in coverage. He plays solid in coverage. He played good in zone coverage and man coverage, and he found gaps and he got through and made plays. You see him in Michigan, and with the right team, and the right team being like the Eagles. I think the Eagles have all those linebackers. The Eagles have Kobe Dean. And you add this guy right here too as well, Junior Colson. I feel like that'd be a nice duo. We see the big beast. They call him Beast, I think. Beast Jordan Davis, that big 380 pounder, 6'8" in the middle. That man right there is a driving force, a run stuffer. So having a guy like that up front and having two guys like that behind them will help the Eagles defense out a lot. And the Eagles been struggling. I have them take a cornerback in the first round too. The secondary struggled a lot last year. They got torched a lot, and they don't need the defense to be better if they want to compete in the long run. Steelers, I had them take Zach Frazier in the second round. They need a center. Zach Frazier is a pretty good center. Good center from West Virginia. Nice, solid addition. You can add to your team. Can be a stable force in a line like that, especially in the run game. So having a guy like that would be great. I had, of course, skipping down to Dolphins. I had Christian Hayes from UConn go to Dolphins. I also had, skipping down to the Packers again, Max Melton goes to the Packers. And then also we've seen, that's another one I had that's important here. I think it was on the first tab. I'm interpreting again. It was the first tab. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. As you see on the list right there. I thought I saw another important one on there too, but these are basically the ones right there. I wanted to highlight a few of them on the list. That I want to go through each goddamn pick. We've been here for about 30 minutes, 40 minutes trying to do that and decipher that. So these are the picks I have for the NFL mock draft, the first round and the second round. I'm gonna have some more videos coming to you guys. On Tuesday, I'm going to have a Steelers video coming out. I have a special video I want to talk about and probably add some more news too as well that's surrounding the Steelers on that day. But I also have an important topic I want to talk about as well. That's it hasn't been really circulating a lot, but I've been thinking about it a lot. So I'm going to discuss it. And on Wednesday, I'm going to have another video for you guys discussing some players in the draft. And on Thursday, another Steelers video. And then on Friday, we switch to basketball. As you guys know the schedule, Monday through Thursday, so I keep it football. And then Friday to Sunday, I keep it basketball, so I try to keep it like a little balance a little bit. Now, if something crazy happened during the week, And then of course I have to discuss about it like that. And when playoffs start for the NBA, I'm going to discuss some things. So just be on the lookout for a lot of different things, and be on the lookout for the content. Thank you guys for subscribing, getting us up there. We're trying to get to 800, then get to 1,000 as well too. So thank you guys for doing that. But I have a lot of great content coming. Of course, the draft, I will be doing live stream now. I have two options kind of. I might live stream here and watch it from the house, or I might go to the draft little place they have like that. They had a place in Dallas. They had a little draft thing. People had a draft party stuff, and might live stream there, depending on how I feel that day. Because I might say, you know what, I'm gonna stay here so I can at least have all my equipment and everything. But if I go there, I'm gonna have to do it from the phone style with no equipment. I'll be able to see the chat if I do the vertical style, but we'll see when the time comes. But the draft is in April 21st, so it's in a few weeks from now. So it's getting there, getting closer and closer. This year kind of going by a little fast, a little bit, because it's already in April. And the NFL season really, May, June, July, the training camp stuff, and then August preseason, then you're back in it. So really like 4 or 5 months, the NFL season is back. It's kind of going by fast, and I can't wait to see what my Steelers do. Of course the NFL entirety as well, but I can't wait to see my Steelers do. Getting Russell Wilson back, finally getting a quarterback who can throw the ball accurately beyond 20 yards, 30 yards. It's gonna be great. And then Najee Harris, his 4th year, we're gonna see some amazing things. So I'm very pumped up and excited for this game of football. I'm pumped up and excited for basketball as well. The playoffs are starting. Of course, March Madness is still going on. We got a big game tomorrow. You got Iowa versus LSU tomorrow, I believe so. Yeah. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark rematch. That's gonna be nice. Juju Watkins, USC versus UConn is another one too. So a lot of big games are happening, and going crazy around. So we're gonna see who comes out on top, and we're gonna see this NFL draft. The world of sports is heating up. That's one thing I love. As you guys know, I'm a fan of a lot of things. So I try to keep my variety of likes and things I'm interested in around a lot. I try to keep it various. So I always have a conversation to talk to somebody with. They're like, oh, you watch that show, or you watch this, or you into this, you into that. So I've always be ready. But sports is my main thing. It's the thing I love the most. Love watching, love discussing, love playing sometimes as well. So yeah, so we got a lot of content coming. So stay tuned for this ride, and I'll see you guys next time on the channel, which will probably be tomorrow. But peace out.